and welcome to Cavan TV's News and Views. Well, what a fabulous treat I have for you this evening, a musical treat. No stranger to us here in Cavan TV. Welcome back one more time to Elena Duff. Good evening, Elena.
Thank you.
As I say, welcome back to the studio.
Thank you very much for having me.
I'm glad to say you have your guitar with you. You have released some singles before, but now you've been working really hard and you've got a whole CD.
Yep. I've been working my little B-U-T-T.
Your fingers off.
Yes.
And you've got 12 original songs on your CD. And the wonderful story about the CD, folks, is not only has Elena written the lyrics, the music, the arrangements, she's done the technical side, the engineering, the production on it. Well done.
Thanks very much.
Hard work. Well done.
It was a financial decision, I have to say, but also I think over COVID, during the pandemic, when we were in lockdown, I was attending a monthly songwriters critique group run by a nice lady called Eve Williams, who's a singer-songwriter up in the north. And I was muddling around trying to arrange my own songs, but feeling like, well, I'm not allowed to record my own songs at home because they're going to sound amateur and I don't want that. And it was her, I do credit her, because one day she said, you seem to have a knack for this and a passion for the music production. So why don't you learn to do it yourself?
And that's exactly what you did do.
And that's exactly what I did do. So over the pandemic, I ended up doing a course in festival production and audio engineering. So audio engineering is basically how to set up the microphones in a studio, what mics you use for a guitar, which mics you use for a drum kit. So that's audio engineering. And then beyond that, the music production is when you put everything into a music program, chop it up, put effects on things,
and the sound
mix
you want
it
to get at the end.
Exactly.
Now, to get back to your songs, Elena, all I say, as I say again, all, from your heart. They're all your own songs, on your own, melodies and lyrics. Where do they come from?
Well, I've called the album In the Wilderness, which is a line from hopefully the song that I'm going to maybe play you later. And I guess I was born in London, happened to be born in London, even though I'm an Irish mother, and was brought up in Dublin. And then I lived in Berlin for 6 years before moving to Cavan, which I thought was going to be a temporary arrangement. So I guess
that always happens.
So that's it.
You
get sucked in. You're in Cavan now. As
can't leave.
That's it. It's like the Hotel California.
But also, and to get back to your songs again, go
but
ahead.
It's so basically, I guess, In the Wilderness is about, I suppose, the contrast of moving to a rural location, so it's physically being in the wilderness, which I love. I love going for walks with my dogs in the beautiful forest by the lakes. I go all over Cavan for lovely walks with the dogs.
Do you get inspired when you do that?
Definitely. Absolutely.
Back to nature kind of thing.
Yeah, definitely. I've even filmed some videos in the past when I was first starting out, in my local forest, bring the guitar out and play in them. But I guess the title also refers to being in the emotional wilderness for some of the themes of the song. So there's heartbreak, joy, all of that. So I suppose there's a double meaning of being physically in the wilderness and mentally as well.
I guess it's hard to write a song without an emotion of something.
Well, that's it. Actually, at Don Mescal's songwriting workshop, as part of that Drumlinia 3-day event that he organised.
Very informative, wasn't it?
It was very informative, and he was very much pushing that songs have to have an emotional resonance with the listener. Because that's how you connect with them. Otherwise,
your story.
They're a little story, 3-minute story.
Telling your story in the wilderness. Also, I'm going to blow your trumpet more, Elena, and that you're an artist of many kinds. You're a visual artist as well. You can paint. You have wonderful hands.
I have my.
This is your cover.
Now I designed this. I'll just hold this up here on my knee. I designed this to be the album cover. Obviously, it's not square. And I ended up cutting off the lettering and just keeping the image below and adding digital lettering to it. So that's painted with acrylics on canvas. And I wanted a kind...
No, before you put that away now, explain the imagery there to me now. More than the
Well, firstly, I wanted a kind of a 70s look because the album is kind of slightly folky sounding, drawing on a lot of those 70s folk singers. The image is kind of a cartoonish version of me.
Yeah.
I released
It's very good, actually. Of
Thank
yourself.
you.
That's a self-image. Yeah, it's brilliant.
I made this hat out of cardboard and paper for a single called, I've forgotten the name of the single, but it was based on a sea shanty. And it was about kind of going off into the sunset and being more confident and leaving your woes behind. So in the video for that, I wore that hat and I wandered around Baileyborough and the surrounds. So everything on the album kind of relates. There's a song called Alone, so I'm there alone. The sea shanty is there with the hat on. There's one mention of like poison vine, so there's poison berries there. There's a couple dancing. Amazing. There's a star. There's a song called Falling Star. The sea for other ones. So I've kind of touched on each of the songs in the album cover.
Yeah. You have 12 songs on your CD, and you are going to have a launch. You're going to get it out there.
Well, I'm going to get it out there. So it's coming out on Friday, October the 27th. So it's going to be released on all the usual streaming platforms, Spotify, Amazon, Apple.
So if anybody wants to find you there.
Yep. They can also find it on YouTube. So it automatically goes to YouTube, but with like a still album cover rather than a video.
You're under Elena Duff.
I'm under Elena Duff, and I'm also getting some CDs made. So I was talking to the people yesterday, so hopefully I'm going to get them delivered by the end of the week. Now, apparently nobody listens to CDs anymore, but I'm very old-fashioned and I do. I listen to them in the car a lot, and people have asked me for them at gigs. And I think it's taken so long to make this album, like it's literally gone on years. I had awful problems with it. It was like pulling teeth. So I think I just wanted...
Is it cathartic to get it out there?
Oh, it really is. I for a while there, I was just exhausted because it maybe ran a little bit too long beyond having the energy.
It got stuck on you maybe.
Yeah. And now that it's done, I'm beginning to feel a little bit excited of like, it's done. It's finally finished. It's out there. Or will be in a few days.
Now, you and I both were at the Drumlinia Industrial Day, and we got a very first-hand insight into the music industry and the pitfalls and the highs and the lows, and actually how difficult it is. One person said it's pure graft that gets you there. Another person said it was pure luck that got me there. It's a tough industry, Elena.
Yeah, it's got even tougher now with the streaming.
All the different outlets,
With the outlets, but I mean, for instance, Spotify, everybody has the major problem with. Spotify pays something like 0.0003 cents per stream. Yeah. But they don't even pay that. So say if you pay €14.99 a month to Spotify, if you pay for it, even if you only listen to me, I'll maybe only get 2% of that €14.99. The rest will go to Miley Cyrus and Beyonce and Taylor Swift, even though you haven't listened to them. So it's quite an unfair system for people. And like very well-known artists are really, really struggling now. They're really struggling because the whole bottom has fallen out of record sales.
Yeah. And really, the gig is in the live music.
It is really, but now I think as well, and again, for like bigger artists are struggling because tours cost money. They have to hire crew, they have to hire lighting, they have to get visas, travel abroad, all of that. And the cost of living, cost of petrol, cost of hotels has like shot up all across the world. So even the touring now, I think for bigger people is difficult.
Unless you get a big sponsor on board.
Unless you get a big or you've got a massive big record label behind you. But in a way, sorry for interrupting you, but in a way I think it's easier if you are like small like me. I play on my own. I have a looper pedal for some songs to fill out the sound. And I think you can be kind of a little bit quick and nimble without having a big train of people around you.
But I would say, Elena, that you are the sort of you are the artist that likes a small intimate gig anyway.
Yeah. Yes.
And an intimate audience as well. Yeah. Like you're not up there blasting it out, deafening everybody out of it.
No, or dancing. No.
It's you come to listen to me. This is what I have to do for you, and you come to to hear that.
Yeah. And I mean, I would say, I mean, much as I'm absolutely delighted with my album, it's probably not going to be everybody's cup of tea, how I have arranged it. And because I didn't have a producer or, you know, somebody else there in a label or something steering me in one way or the other, it's definitely like one person's complete creative control for good or bad. So,
Yeah, and they touched on all those things in Drumlinia Industrial Day, like your creative control. But you know, when you've got, you know, music producers and engineers and everything, that's all tipping into your profits, really, isn't it?
It is really. I mean, I don't want to either. I mean, somebody like, for instance, Billie Eilish, who's blown up huge. Her and her brother are home record producers. They recorded her first album in his bedroom, her sitting on the bed with a microphone. Having said that, their mother used to work in Hollywood and has contacts, so maybe it's a little bit easier for them. And of course, the two of them are super talented. So it can be done, and at the same time, I don't want to denigrate the work of actual audio engineers and producers, because it's a very complex, profession.
You must get your right sound.
Yeah.
So what do you see down the road for Elena? You've got this album, you've got the CD or whatever we like to call it out. You've got that work out there. You know, what do you want to do from now on in your intimate gigs?
I would love to gig a little bit more. I had a good few gigs over the summer now. You know, I play ukulele. I played it the last time I was on here. So I played a couple of ukulele festivals over the summer, which was really good fun. One in Sligo, one in Longford.
And folks, this girl is just not your regular ukulele player. She's a very good ukulele player.
Thank you.
Go on ahead.
I think for the future, I'd love to play more gigs, love to play more festivals. I'd love to play some of the folk festivals over in the UK, big ones like Cambridge Folk Festival. And I really wanted, this album has taken so long. I've so many more songs that I want to record.
Right, so
like they're clogging up my hard drive with all the lyrics and.
Well, I would say the fact that you've done all this work, the engineering and the sound and everything on that, like it's like you can get out there and get your sound right across without the help of anybody, right?
That's it. And as I said, for good or for bad, but it is, I think, the one thing I'd say if anybody else wants to do this, is that I think like trying to do 12 songs. Now, some of them I released and I've taken down off the streaming services and now they're going to be compiled in the album. But I think going forward, I would release a single and then another single and then compile them into an album rather than trying to get the whole album done first, because it was a far bigger project than I thought it was going to be, and it took way longer than I thought it was going to be. And I think, you know, you mentioned the arrangement of things. I think in a weird way, despite having to set up the microphones and do the music production on the computer and all of that, actually arranging the songs was the hardest for me. When I finally got the right microphones and the right program, I sat down and I was like, oh, wait, how do I want this to sound? Yeah. Do I want it just vocal and guitar or vocal and ukulele, or do I want like a full drum kit on it? And that actually took, you know, it took a few months for me to figure out how I wanted it to sound, you know.
You did backing harmonies as well.
Yes, backing harmonies. Yeah, and I put a lot of synthy, strange synth sounds and things in with it as well. Okay. So it's slightly quirky and unusual sounding.
So we'll mention that once again. Elena Duff, In the Wilderness. Mm-hmm. You're going to sing one of the songs.
I am. I'm going to sing Wilderness, which has the line "in the wilderness" in it. And it's about the most upbeat song on the album. I'm just going to put this painting down here. You know what we could do, get lost in the wilderness. You know where we could climb trees, silent pines. We got so great and low, caught up in the urban stress. You know where we could swim in the lake with the ducks floating. Let sunlight shine in their peace. Come climb trees just like monkeys. And that we are sailors on the mast, singing stories of the Tangle Pass. And don't you know, inside the very wild, let's get lost in the wilderness, we'll try. You and I. across the leafy forest floor and watch with awe the mighty river roar. Round here somewhere there's bears and wolves and more. You know we're just like them, wild to the very core, the very core. Let's unleash our inner beast, run, climb trees just like monkeys. And we are sailors on the mast, singing stories of the Tango Pass. And don't you know, inside we're very wild. Let's get lost in the wilderness, we'll try. You and I, you and I, you and I, we both are wild. You look so tired and worn, myself I'm dead inside. We clockwork through each day, glimpse the world through dirty window panes. Come on, let's go outside, get lost in the wilderness. You know what we find, birds and bees and peace of mind. Birds and bees and peace of mind. You and I, you and I, you and I, we both are wild.
So there you have it, folks. A fantastic voice and a fantastic song of Elena Duff.
And a lost finger pick halfway through.
I thought it was a plectrum that went flying, but never mind. You carried on. The show goes on.
That's it.
An album to watch out for, In the Wilderness, Elena Duff, on the 27th of October. She's launching her music, and it's to watch out for. Thank you for watching us on Cavan TV's News and Views.